For the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities.
Hello and welcome to episode 100. And Isaac's giving me a really horrible look.
That wasn't. That was just a normal look.
Oh, right. It looked like you were annoyed that I deigned to start the recording
I was actually
myself.
a bit annoyed that you left a delay because I'll have to edit that out now before the hello. It's only a second, but these things really get to me. I didn't think my face was that transparent.
Hello and welcome to episode 129
Thank you.
of That's a Shame. I am Declan. Opposite me,
Isaac.
Isaac. Not annoyed, Isaac.
No,
not
never.
annoyed. Just frustrated,
Easy
maybe.
going, Isaac.
Oh, relaxed.
Yeah, picture of good health.
It's been a little while since we spoke to you.
It has, longer than usual. Sorry about that.
Yeah, we had a very busy time.
Yeah,
It's
emotionally,
yeah.
spiritually,
Yep.
intimately.
Check.
Check. Oh, I see, okay.
As in on a checklist, not as in poker.
Or, well, I thought you were saying you'd fucked someone from Czechoslovakia.
Oh,
And that would have been news to me.
or the Czech Republic.
Yeah, that's the one. None of those.
It's been a long January, even though it has seemed to fly by. If you can pass my meaning there.
Yeah, I can, thanks.
Yeah. It was quite a big, busy December that we've never
Well,
actually
Jesus'
really...
birthday.
And of course, Christmas.
Yeah, well, they're actually the
I
same
was
day.
assuming you were referring to yourself with the first. It was a funny joke about your own
but
ego.
thank you.
That's
for
okay.
that, yeah. Because just remind ourselves, I'm the first day of Advent and Jesus is really the last day. So it's a kind of bookend thing that we've worked out between us. A double act, if you will.
Oh, that's very nice.
It's very nice.
That's handy. And, you know, for those who don't know you, do they...
They don't need to worry about that because in the same way that unbaptized babies, they go to purgatory because they never got to know about Christ, and people who are born in countries where they don't have Jesus.
And that's what a good loving, benevolent Lord
people
would do.
if they don't have a Jesus, then obviously that'll probably be hell, maybe purgatory or hell. It's a bit of a coin toss
Yeah.
for St. Peter.
Also, I suppose you don't need a bookend at the first because no one's going backwards through time back into November.
Don't need it, but I'm doing that.
Oh, you're just
like
there doing
Aragorn
that,
standing
like a little
at the back of the fellowship.
boondoggle
I'm just there.
job
No
for
need
you there,
to
yeah?
worry about it. Holding up
proper
the fort.
like New Deal
Leading from behind.
old lady in the corner of a museum.
Soft
style.
power. That's what they call it. Yeah.
Yeah. But, you know, all of that aside, work-wise, certainly for me,
Yeah, you've
it's
worked
been
most hours that God
a
gave us.
hell of a time. I realised that New Year's Day and 4 days over Christmas were the only days off I've had from working in about 3 months.
Fun.
And it's not just, as you might recall, been the case that, I've been doing a bit of work on those days.
Yeah.
It's been, I was doing a job and then I was coming home for 10 minutes
Yeah.
and then going out to do a whole other job over the night.
Yeah, the whole of the night.
Yeah, before coming home for a small sleep before going back to that other first job.
Yeah.
So it was quite a busy, draining
Did it
time.
take any toll on your well-being?
Well, yeah, it did.
But a boon for the bank account.
No,
Oh,
couldn't say that.
right.
Feels something of a...
A win, no, lose-lose.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, one of the things that I assume we're still probably going to talk about in a future episode is our and my troubles over the Christmas period.
Those sound very criminal.
I went to jail.
I was
for this one.
impersonating Santa, and it turns out preschools won't allow it anymore. They've really cracked down on that.
And you know what? It's only when you get a ban from them that you realise how many of them there are and how much
All over the place.
how close they are to so many of your favourite McDonald's.
You just get tired of the ankle bracelet beeping, honestly. It's monotonous.
But yeah, I was sort of like struggling a little bit anyway, going into the December period.
That's a good tease for a future fun-filled episode.
Exactly, yeah. And then I was emotionally drained come mid-December, and also, as I remain, sober, which is never something
big combo.
to help.
Yeah.
And then kind of January came around, resolution time.
Yep.
We made some as a flat, sort of, didn't we? We had a little flat meeting just
Flatolutions.
before.
Yeah.
That's
what everyone's calling
There's
them.
no,
Yeah,
well, don't say
flatulations.
everyone.
No, it's just what
Because
everyone's
it's you, me,
calling
and
them.
Mark, and you're the only one who said it.
Yeah,
And
but I mean,
you are
other
the only
flats,
one who will.
because I've
Right.
after the success of our Flatolutions, I've been kind of selling that brand. I'm actually doing very well. out
Oh
of it.
well, really?
I've been giving keynote after keynote.
And are you
honestly.
thinking
TEDx?
Do you think we
call
could
it.
incorporate my slow aerobics idea into this at all? Or
Honestly, we can't, and that's no reflection on
That's
you.
fair.
It's just the quality of that idea was very poor.
I'm
was
just thinking that
bottom tier.
it's a much.
It had flatlined. It was dead.
I'm just
out.
thinking it's a much better portmanteau than.
Yeah,
Sorry, what was?
it's Flatolutions.
Oh, sorry.
And here at Flatolutions,
And that's
Inc.,
not-
it's not.
that's not a
we're
bathroom
about
sanitary
what the name
product
is
or anything.
We're about looking beyond the name. We're not a superficial ink.
Imagine a company whose slogan was "We're not about what the name is like."
Look past the name.
That's
please.
on the same lines as people don't think that it'd be like it is, but it do.
Yeah, do.
Yeah.
Certainly do. So yeah, we made some Flatolutions.
Keeping it tidier, which has
Yep.
actually been going very
It
well.
has been going well. I've been taking a much more active role in being in any other room than my own.
That has been nice.
And
We've
that
seen him.
brings with it a certain cleanliness, because
Yeah.
I'm like a Roomba. Suck up the dirt from the floor and then go back to bed when I'm low on battery.
He does very organised laps of
And then
the
if I
floor
bounce into anyone, I just go spinning off.
and
very
leaves with a tongue full of dust.
It's full of protein, the floor.
Is that a chin or a
Tongue
chebe?
full of dust.
So keeping it tidier.
Yeah.
Fitness.
Oh god.
The gym. You've been going.
for the first time
I've been
ever in my
paying.
whole life. I've gone to the gym. I'm really not in my element in the gym. Don't know if you'd have guessed that. about
No,
me.
really?
It's not. It's not a place where any
For
of
effeminate
my
men.
skills. I'm not an effeminate.
You pulled such a great face. It was incredible. It was a part of you not wanting to not seem woke, but then also you didn't want that.
Well, it's just not
accusation.
accurate.
Oh, is that sorry?
Not at all.
No.
I'm what they call.
There are lots of Roomba-like men at the gym. Are there?
No, what I'm saying is that traditionally the areas in life where I excel, the arts, conversation,
Pianist.
the pianist, the arts. I forgot about that. The realms of the mind are not,
Gaslighting.
for some reason, they don't carry much currency in the gym world, which is a stinking cesspit of testosterone.
Re-rack your weights.
I
You've
don't.
been
I haven't
doing
touched
that.
anything to do.
You
with that.
haven't unracked them in the first place.
I don't know what they
if
are.
If anything, that makes you the perfect gym user in the eyes of other gym users.
What? Because you don't get in the way of their gym.
Yeah, you're not getting in the way of their gymming.
I don't
and you're
sweat
not,
either.
You're not
so
re-racking your weight.
I'm not causing any turmoil.
That is of medical concern.
Oh, it's not an issue.
It is
It
quite
just
a big
goes
issue.
straight to the kidneys. All my sweat balls right into calcium deposits.
Yeah, because you can't. You're not supposed to get a really big stitch and also not sweat.
Oh, I only got that stitch once, and that's because I had eaten a dubious coconut product minutes beforehand, which I regret
For what
being
purpose?
part of. Well, I got it free. So the first trip to the gym, and I state again, I'm 26 now. This is ever. I've never been in a gym. I think I'm at the age in this country, or at least in my circle of friends, where during my growing up time, it became very in vogue
Very
to go to the
fashionable.
gym. But it's I think I'm the upper age of that, where it's there was a turning point where before, if I'd gone into school a month earlier, everyone would have been having fun after school,
yeah.
Going to play football, maybe going to play Spyro, perhaps. And then a month elapsed, and suddenly everyone was
where?
ripped.
Going where to play Spyro?
What do you mean going where? Did I say going
Yeah,
somewhere
you said
to play
going
Spyro?
to play Spyro.
Yeah, just going home to play
Just going
Spyro.
home. I see.
Yeah, not
There
like
wasn't
a
a big-
communal Spyro.
Like a
thing.
drive-in.
Yeah, the youth centre we all used to hang out at. And then I felt at the time, and still feel really, that I hate most aspects of gym culture. It's
all of it.
inescapably so horribly superficial.
Yep.
But also, everyone there is just in a bad mood all the time. They're in a bad sort of aggressive mood where they've all made themselves too hench, and they all look like stupid rectangles come to life to haunt you, and not in the good way like Thomas was alone, in the bad way like Mr. Strong, but he's on a rampage. He's eaten so many eggs he doesn't know what to do with them. When I first went, I'm wearing, picture my gym scene, I'm wearing a sort of
Well, I remember
tight top.
I remember the shoes you came to play football in, and they were. Let me be
they were
frank.
Converse, weren't they?
Let me be frank. They were your boots.
Oh yeah. Well, I didn't own trainers. Like
and not football boots. No.
Big like combat boots from when I was in that combat that I came to all
when
the
you were
time.
in the army, when you were in the TA.
I was a paramilitary member for some time. I'm in a sort of tight shirt, nice trainers. They're like decent. I'm wearing NASA white socks because I don't have any gym socks, and they're like gym material. But I folded them down because I don't look like a dweeb with like high socks. Folded them into a sort of trainer sock shape.
Yeah.
That's all fine. I am wearing school uniform PE shorts. There's no two ways about it. They're from
can't
my
be
sixth
avoided.
form
Yeah.
cross country days. And like they still fit, and I don't have the money to blow on excess gym wear. And I sort of felt like it was a rebellion anyway, because I didn't want to be like people whose outfit and look and vibe
Yeah.
is gym centric.
I remember
shoot myself.
I remember a couple of years ago when I started playing football in the evenings to try and like regain a bit of fitness while I was teaching, and I sort of rummaged through my wardrobe for an hour, it must have been, and I own, honest to God, the least clothes of anyone I've ever known.
No, really?
And I always will. I think I honestly, if someone out there thinks they own fewer clothes than me,
You like an accidental minimalist.
do get in touch. Yeah. I just, honest to God, don't care.
Yeah.
And so I've never sought to go out and buy. I don't get joy from buying new clothes.
It doesn't spark joy.
No.
As
And
Marie Kondo
therefore
would say.
it goes in the bin.
Fair.
And I had
Sorry
no,
to anyone who got Declan any clothes for his birthday.
no,
Already got.
What I mean is, like, I enjoy when I get new clothes, but I don't get any joy from buying them myself. Whereas a lot of people I know really do. And I just had nothing. I had no sports gear, I had no shorts, I had no real top other than a very old, like, West Ham one that wasn't actually an official shirt. It was some sort of pound shop knockoff version that was way too small. And I didn't have any like actual football socks. And I like was stood in front of the like full length mirror. We only had one in the house. It was my parents' room. And I was just looking at it. And the only image that I could conjure was, it was like that scene in Greece where Danny Zuko tries to take up sport to impress Sandy.
I love when
and
he's sidles into shot.
yeah, and he's sort of like trying to like, he's got whipping his comb out and doing his
very
hair, but he like can't run for shit, and he
Yeah.
can't swing a bat or wrestle or whatnot. And it just looked so ill-fitted.
There was that dilemma, like the clothing dilemma, which was one that I'd been sort of surmounting for a good 3 months, coming to terms with like, I don't want to buy stuff, I'll just sort of put stuff together. But those shorts were like in Canterbury, so I picked them up when I was there. I'd amassed everything. It was January and I was off. And the gym itself, like, not only once you're there is it a confusing environment, because I don't know what anything does. And in the same way that I've never learned what colours make other colours, no one's ever taught me, and nor do I know, or will anyone explain how they know how any of these machines work. They're not self-explanatory, apart from the one that you just pick up a weight. But even then, there's many ways to fuck that up, I'm told. So I haven't bothered with anything other than the treadmill. But when I arrived there, it's really close to our house, which is handy. It's like a 15-second jog.
Yep.
And that's called warming up
Yeah.
in the gym community, the gym unity that I'm part of now. But to get in, you have to put in this like 8-digit code. And I didn't remember my code, so I was looking at my app and putting it in, and it just wasn't working. And it turned out because there's a button that says OK, and there's also a button that says like enter or something. And I was pressing one and it was the other. So it was all very dumb. But there I was, like, in my stupid PE shorts with giant headphones on, fumbling with a code. And out from Pure Gym strides a 6'5", like,
Adonis.
beautiful, rippling specimen of masculinity. And I was like, I don't belong here. This is not for me. But it's been fine. Once I worked out how to use the treadmill, it kept just turning off at random. Turned out to be like someone had put the emergency stop like half off. So every so
right.
often it was just like bouncing itself on, and it was just stopping dead,
Oh,
which is very
no, that
dangerous
is
when
very
you're
dangerous,
going
yeah.
quite fast. And also, I had to buy a padlock from a vending machine. So I put in my money. It was actually contactless. Typed in the padlock, and it was like the top shelf, and it went whee, and then just caught on this.
Obviously,
this
it's
very
a shape
bottom
designed to do so.
but in so doing, it knocked out 2 packets of this coconut protein wafer. so I've got that now in my bag, and I had to like get them to replace the padlock. But no one works there at this gym because it's like 24/7. But the reason it's cheap is because they actually have no employees that are always there. It's all just a fucking hassle, though.
I remember going to the gym again when I was teaching. Like one of the other staff members there, who had been my German teacher, I think was on a personal vendetta to make sure that I got no bigger.
Oh yeah.
Sorry to have let you down, Tim.
Oh.
But I used to go with him every now and then by myself, sometimes to this gym. And it was in a very odd place. It backed onto one of those indoor, like, children's play spaces.
Oh, that's a
like the
shame.
Wacky Warehouse.
What, with like a ball pit and stuff?
Yeah.
That's
Backed
weird.
onto the building that was
I
one
bet
of
the
those.
whole place smelled of socks.
Yes.
Nice.
It did. Although they were separate buildings. There were just a lot of socks in the gym as well.
Smell.
And I was very grateful for the fact that it was always empty. I couldn't ever fathom going to a gym that was full or busy.
Horrid.
I hate it. I hate the people. I think they're all cunts. Sorry.
I'm sure they're not, but there's something about the environment that just makes people
And the culture
like,
is just
competitive
horrid.
and aggressive.
It's
and
just
horrid.
very horrible. And it's also self-congratulatory.
Yeah.
And I'm not about
Unlike
that.
anything we do. Which is, if anything, just pure altruism.
Yeah. So I used to despise it. But again, I used to solely do the treadmill, the stair mill.
Is that the one where you just go up some steps?
Yeah.
Okay. I might branch out into that one day, but
It's quite fun
is
to
it good
do.
to go upstairs? How's that going to help me?
Yeah, it's good.
I'm already very good at going upstairs.
Burns a lot.
Oh,
Well, you're
really?
already...
But I'm not
alright.
looking to lose weight because then I'll turn into a ghost.
Well, true.
So I don't want to burn.
Imagine if you became two-dimensional.
That'd be really cool. Think of all the things I could do.
There's a lot of problems being two-dimensional, though.
Well, give me 3.
In that, in order to eat, well, you can't.
Well, you could eat 2-dimensional food. You have to just eat drawings.
No, but you can't is the thing.
Why?
Because in order to
'cause you
have a
can't
digestive tract,
ingest anything
in order
else.
to have a digestive tract, you have to have a gap that goes down the middle.
But
in
as
which
soon
case
as
you would
you-
split in half.
As soon as you become 2D, cartoon logic applies. So you
Oh,
just
okay,
like
fine.
look at a lemon and then that one's done.
Is that it?
That's like The Simpsons.
Wow,
isn't
I remember
it?
that.
Remember
Remember
Bart looks at a lemon.
And he goes,
A
lemon.
lot of people thought that episode should have been called Lisa Looks at a Lemon for the alliteration, but the writers were not on the
They
board.
said no. It's
Yeah.
an
It was
anti-joke.
too expected.
So yeah, I've signed up to go to this gym, but haven't yet been.
You're
But
looking forward to it.
largely, that's
You've been
I'm
busy.
pleading the fifth. Yeah, I have been extraordinarily busy, but I'm looking to go this week.
And it's going to be
Even
fun.
friend and flatmate Mark has been.
Yeah, he's loving
well.
it. He can't get enough of the gym. He's
there
turned
now,
into
actually,
a
at
monster.
4 a.m.
Steroid boy, we call him.
So yeah, it's been quite hectic here. I've only just come off the back of like 5 consecutive night shifts plus day shifts plus tutoring.
Yep.
So I'm kind of in a very weird place right now where I feel a little bit odd sticking to a normal schedule.
Oh, because
Not-
you're trying to have to like re-assimilate with normal life.
Yeah, exactly. And something like this, staying up till 5 to 4,
Really helping.
it's not helping, but it does feel good because this is what I'm used to.
Yeah.
But it's hard because I know that for like 3 days now, I have to do sort of like a normal daytime rota. And then after that, I'm back to it all being fucked again for quite a while. So it's odd because I don't want to get too attached to it.
What, to
like a foster
normality
kid.
Wow.
No, to normality because I know that I have to kiss it goodbye
Yeah.
in a few days' time.
It will come back though. It always does.
Although I have handed in my notice at the pharmacy.
So this is officially probably the end of the Pharmacy Friends.
Yeah, I'm going to probably do a big roundup episode.
Okay.
Maybe next Sunday.
Maybe we get some of your colleagues on the show.
Yeah, we'll get Glandis on.
Yeah, Glandis. She's got some very out there opinions about the flat Earth.
Yeah, she's got some interesting opinions on the flu vaccine.
Oh no! Not causing autism left, right, and centre.
Only very specifically. Don't you worry.
Oh dear.
No. So we'll probably do like a final roundup of some pharmacy
farewell
friends and
pharmacy
foes.
freaks. We call it. Something
Yeah, I
like
like that. So
Was that a liberating moment handing in your notice? Well, it wasn't, because I saw the notice that you handed in. I just remembered.
and it was the most embarrassing. I may as well have drawn it in crayon with my
You had
fist.
to. What was the reason you had?
Well, my laptop, as ever, we're returning to a TAS classic of my relationship, my ill-fated relationship with technology.
It's an abusive relationship with technology, really, where technology abuses you.
Yeah.
And you have to carry on using it because it's the only way to interface with modernity.
Yeah, it's like it's withholding my money and whatnot.
Yeah. Straight up.
So it has been on the absolute fritz for a while, and
In a very specific way, though, which bears mentioning.
that the screen
is haunted.
Has yes.
It just turns into
the screen. I was going to say has a loose connection, but it's best phrased as ghost.
because the TV, it turns into the TV from Poltergeist at a moment's notice.
Sometimes it's very obvious, like it's at a weird angle. It will start to flicker. Sometimes it's sitting perfectly still at the most normal angle it possibly could, and it will just suddenly go.
And then one time I came into the living room and you had it so far, like almost shut.
Yeah.
You're like peering into the laptop like it was a secret clown.
Yeah, the only two workable angles at the moment are leant so far back that you have to put it on the floor and stand up, or closed.
That's so funny.
Closed, it's fine.
Oh dear.
Also, it only ever works if I'm trying to show someone the weird screen that it does. Obviously, that's a
That's
classic.
a good feature, yeah.
It could be on a solid surface, unmoving at the one angle that it really likes, and will eventually kind of start to flicker. And sometimes you can like lift it up and carry it about, and it's on like the bed at a 45 degree. Absolutely fine. But one morning it just wasn't working. It was unusable, and I'm sure that it's a problem, unlike most problems that I seem to have, that can probably just be fixed by me taking it in and then redoing
Kicking
a wire
it to dust.
Yeah, probably. But I knew that if I kept using it any longer, I was going to throw it out of the window.
And then it's even harder to
very
remedy.
Irreparable. So I had to type out my resignation letter on the Notes app on my phone and then airdrop it to the printer. But in so doing, there's no point in the process at which you can alter any of the settings, which sadly includes font size, which it chose 24.
giant.
Like it was enormous, and the margins were the edge of the page, so it filled the whole space.
It looked
with
like
the biggest.
Yeah.
It looked like
you
year
were resigning
2.
from the primary school newspaper.
Yeah, I resigned
can't
from school
help anymore.
council. Been caught in a scandal with the tuck shop, and so I like wrote it, and then we didn't have any envelopes that fit A4 paper, so I had to do the usual fold it in thirds, but then also fold it over a little bit at the edge to fit it in.
Very, very sad.
Addy, I kind of like
quit on the spot.
asked, no, quite the opposite.
Oh, no.
I was she was having such a shit day, and I love her to bits, but she is someone with whom you have to choose your moments. And you will get enormously varying responses based on that. And
Like
so,
an NPC that follows like a routine in the day.
exactly.
Where they're like, come and talk to me about this when the sun goes down.
So she'd been having such a shit day. So I waited until I'd made a good joke and she'd laughed. And then
That was when?
Yeah, I was like, oh, can I have a word in a bit? Like, we spoke, and she was like, when I said like, when we went into the like consultation room, and she was like, oh, it's serious. And then I sat down and she went, oh no, you're leaving.
Oh no.
And I was like, yeah. And she just went, oh my God.
Oh no.
And put her head, and she went, how long are you giving me? And I was like, well,
10 minutes. I've already gone.
when does the shift? It's just my clothes in a chair, propped up, and I'm
You're just
running nude
sprinting naked down
across the roundabout.
across the RAF museum.
Yeah. Well, that's away from our house.
Yeah, well, you're not coming here. That's it.
So, what it has meant is that my commitment to being on time, which was already the loosest possible, has somehow defied all logic
me.
and become looser. I said I was going to ask to have Friday off because I was supposed to be working Thursday night. Thankfully, I wasn't. And then I had like things to do. I wanted to get my hair cut, which I have finally done. And I wanted to get some food in because I was having people over for my birthday on Friday night. And I just really wanted the day off. But Christian, who I work with, beat me to it. And we can't both have the day off at the same time. So I was like, oh, fuck. So I just said to her, look, I'm working, so I'll be late. And she was like, okay, just try and be here, like, at least for close, as it were, for the last hour and a half of the day when it was just going to be her and Mariam.
Yeah.
And so I properly took the piss with that, and I just came in 3 hours late.
Wow.
I wasn't even at work. I just got up at a normal time for me, went about my day. I went in about 4:45. And I think the fact that I went in with a haircut and they were all fawning over that for about 10 minutes distracted them from the fact I was late.
Demonstrated value.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then it got to 5:05, and I went up to the counter and went, right, it's gone 5. I'm just going to take my break. She chased me around the shop with a ruler.
Oh dear.
So it's been a very busy week where every evening, without being overloaded, we simply haven't had a chance to actually
and that's
put
why
anything together.
Wednesday's episode is even saying that is kind of a trick and a lie, because there was never one.
Exactly.
So it's a bit of language that refers to an idea that, whilst we can all formulate it and we all understand what it would have meant, it's actually just potential.
And it's interesting that you say that.
Yeah? What?
Yeah.
Wednesday's episode.
Yeah, because
Right, okay.
you know how you extended back to the past that idea of that kind of gap in reality and
Yeah,
logic,
I'm a
that
big
it's
fan
something
of
we
those
all know,
gaps.
but it didn't exist.
Uh-huh.
We sort of should probably announce
Yeah.
that if you take that thing that you said for the past,
Yes, I remember.
and
what
just
I said.
apply that to every Wednesday from now on.
We're deleting all the previous Wednesday episodes.
No, wrong. We're just not going to be doing new ones.
You what?
We're not going to be doing Wednesday episodes.
And that's just a decision that you've made unilaterally.
No, it's...
That you think that just because you're a social media manager, you can take me and the listeners on.
And I'm giving myself a raise as well, I should add.
Wow.
No, this is a decision that we took about 3 hours ago.
Yeah, we've been talking about the show longer today than we have done in a really long time, which is, it's not a shame that we're doing it now.
No,
it's
but
a shame that we haven't done it for a while.
Yeah, but it's good for you guys.
Yes. Now explain why, because that...
Well...
let me role play as a listener. Wow, this show...
You fucking
half the content, you say.
Yeah, so it's not half the content, it's half the frequency of content.
Okay, now that I'm the listener again.
Email Tass at shame.city for more info.
We won't be taking questions.
No, essentially, you may have noticed, obviously, not just for the last month.
Don't oversell whatever you're about to say.
No.
Don't go tricking people into thinking it's been bad.
I'm not going to say it's been bad.
Okay.
I'm going to say that our commitment to the schedule that
the
we reaffirmed
scheduling's
at the
been all
beginning
over
of
the place, for sure.
of the year has already, in the 20 days since, been pretty poor.
Well, it's quite hard, isn't it? Because I'm over here, hulking it out at the gym all the time. So, when am I going to sit down and chat? Chatting is not alpha. Men don't talk. We lift.
Used to be that, I'd come home, I'd see the light spilling out from under the crack in Isaac's door, and I could hear him clacking away on the keyboard, probably overwatching.
Reading poetry or something.
Now,
dumb.
he's just going, 101, 506. And I open the door and he's lifting a pencil.
It's crazy, yeah.
desk.
It's a covert masculinity that I've been cultivating for quite some time.
Covert masculinity sounds like some sort of turf term, doesn't it?
Yes, it
some kind of weird...
Or like a weird pickup artist book.
Yeah. No, so the scheduling has been all over the place. What it means is that not only do we entirely disregard the previous idea to have Content Wednesdays and Update on Us on Sundays.
Which was working-ish.
Yeah. But what it means in general is that we're not doing them not because we haven't got something, but we're doing them because we haven't had the time.
Yeah.
And so when it comes to actually sitting down to do something, we still haven't had the time to sit and prepare it. So we're preparing it on the spot. So it's...
I don't know if that read.
It's-
I'd imagine not, because I'm quite the pro.
It's that episode last week where we just turned the mic on and started going, maybe gave the game away. So it's been of lesser depth, I'd say.
Yeah.
Not
And so
necessarily
the idea, I
quality.
guess, is to refocus. It's not out of the question that we'll go back to 2 even this year, even in the next 6 months. Anything can happen. But for now, it's quite a sort of transitionary phase. Your work stuff's changing a lot. I'm, probably going to be in World's Strongest Man anytime now. So, and it's all kind of up in the air. And it seems like a good idea to get 1 really good episode out rather than 2 that probably didn't come out in the same week.
Yeah.
And that are of, varying quality.
Spurious.
It's hard for us to know like what people are into.
Yeah.
So some people, and whenever I think about the podcast, it's hard to think about our one objectively, of course, because we're in it. We this is it that we're doing now, weirdly enough. But when I think about like podcasts that I like, the bits that the hosts think you wouldn't like are the bits that I always like the most, where they're like talking off topic and scolding or admonishing each other to be like, okay, this is not what we were supposed to be talking about. That's a massive tangent. Often they're the most interesting bits. And my hope is that in a show that is 99% tangent, like you've found some value in it.
Yeah.
But there's an extent to which that stops being fun when it's no longer occasional.
Yeah.
I suppose.
It becomes no longer fun when it's not a tangent. That's just, it's just nothing.
It's just-
there's no base from which it was breaking off.
It's just a loose twig
yeah.
floating on the breeze.
I mean, already in this episode, we managed to tangent for 20 minutes before actually bothering to tell anyone why we were getting in touch. It's a step back to go forward, as it were.
Yeah. We're just taking some time.
Yeah, I think that it honestly will help. We sort of have fluctuated between 1 and 2 a couple of times, and each time because we felt that was the best way to give you the content. Like when we first went to 2, it was because we were kind of struggling to keep everything in 1, and we were having these episodes that ended up being like an hour and 50 minutes and something stupid. And then we went back to 1 again because we were struggling to find the time. Back to 2 again because we had more time and we had more content and ideas for how to structure it, and back again now because everything, certainly for me personally and professionally, is up in the air. And so I can't
That as
know.
a pilot.
Yeah. I can't know that I'll be here and ready twice a week.
Okay.
I kind of know I'll be here next month, the month after.
Anything could
It's
happen.
really quite dodgy.
But yeah, we want to make some changes sort of structurally. Nothing huge. Like we're not just going to become a space podcast or just go on about angling all the time. But we've been talking about formalizing more aspects, not in terms of individual episodes, but in terms of like categories of episodes.
Yeah.
To make sure that it doesn't have a kind of monotony that I'm wary that it probably has.
Definitely. And I think now is as good a time as ever to do it.
Probably earlier
Because
in
of our-
January would have been.
Yeah, but,
But it's still New Year's resolution season.
what was not resolution? What was it?
Well, they were the Flatolutions.
Only the flatulence.
But that doesn't apply to
but I
this.
was saying while we're the success of those, and alongside, like I've got about 15
Wow.
of my own.
I've got 4.
Oh yes,
I've got a
You've
little app
your-
that does them. Here they are. Gym, vegan, which is, I was mostly doing that anyway.
Yeah.
French, reading.
Be more French.
Be more than half French, which means changing.
The DNA, one bit at a time. And what was the 4th one?
Reading.
How are they all
It's
going?
fine, actually. Yeah, it's good. I was doing a lot of them like every so often, but it's good to have an app that bugs me into, because sometimes you just don't fancy. You just want to play Mario Kart. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's good to be cajoled into going back to a book every now and then, which was the original Mario Kart, really, wasn't it? Because the cavemen, they just read.
Yeah, reading was one of mine as well. As I said on our Discord chat, I realised last year that I read a total... I actually remembered that it wasn't quite as dire. I read 3 books last year, but that is abysmal.
Yeah, that is bad.
It's
Mate, I've read 3 books this month.
As have I.
On my level, you are.
As have I now, yeah. Which I find it hard to believe, looking back. And maybe I did read more and I forgot, but
Good books, hey?
Yeah. So...
you read Ready Player One, of course. So that's...
I did not. No.
Oh, you didn't get round to... Oh, okay.
No, I think I anti-read that. If it's possible to do anything...
You know less about it.
In that I actually read pages of it,
Yeah.
but I felt like I was further from anything than ever before.
That's the effect that climbers
So yeah, I've got reading. I'm trying to do more writing.
Yep.
Which I thus far have been doing.
Nice.
Which has been nice. Yeah.
That's good.
To finally do it rather than just thinking about a couple of things and then being very satisfied with myself.
Yeah. That's what I'm going to write my Eat This book soon.
Yeah.
Told you about my Eat This book.
Oh, what?
It's a book about different people that are made to eat the book that you're reading.
Yep.
It's very clever and very good.
What about your man who collects the codes for public toilets?
Don't give away all these great ideas that I have. I don't know where to go with that one because I think he's definitely a pervert.
No. And which aspect of his character do you think gave that one?
Well, it's the bit about how he has a little notebook of every code to a public bathroom.
And he's spending all day
shops.
looking for them.
Or killing people in them. Or just masturbating on the walls. That's all for the kind of story to
Masturbating
develop.
onto or literally on the wall.
Yeah. Tile to the penile.
Completely horizontal.
Very horrid.
What else? I have obviously like gym stuff, do more stand up, which will be much easier once I'm not working until 7:45 every night.
Yeah.
When they've all already finished.
Everyone's gone home.
What else have I got? I had loads. I'd do better at the podcast as one of them, so that's technically this.
I don't like the idea that that's your resolution alone. Like, you're going to try and outshine me on the show.
No, not
You're
at
going
all.
to come with like 50 jokes prepared, like it's mock the week. Just be popping
bring
out
out my big,
zingers,
like,
and I'll be like,
Yeah.
cool, me too.
Wommy bomb, eh?
So Toby's email.
No, it was more just, hey, how about you bother to find some content, huh? I kind of wrote a couple pages of, like, admittedly a very small notebook of these. And then at the end, I had a bit of space to fill before it was finished, like at the bottom of a page. And I just wrote a small thing that I can't remember the whole of it, but I remember the gist. And I remember that it started with the sentence, "Let's be frank. 2018 was a busted flush." It really, and like, part of what I mentioned earlier about kind of struggling going into December was the very stark recognition that in the year since like we'd moved here, I'd gone demonstrably backwards in almost every sense. That I, in some ways, was much happier than I'd ever been, but in many ways, much profoundly sadder and angrier, poorer, less employed, and yet more employed,
and more in London.
More in London,
but
yes,
less in London.
Yeah.
And
I hadn't actually done anything. Like that was the sum total of the year, was that I hadn't done anything. I'd existed.
Yeah.
I'd seen the people that I lived with, not every day, but checked in, you know, now and then. I'd been out like down the road a little bit, or maybe to Danges, but nowhere in between. I hadn't achieved anything. And whilst I don't like the kind of cultural focus on what have you achieved and on it kind of like success, and certainly financial success being this kind of like marker, it is nice to feel as though you've done something in a year.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't look back on 2018 and be like, oh, that was the year that I, other than had depression. So, and I don't, you know, I know that we're often accused of being everyone gets a trophy generation. So I don't really want to chalk that up as an achievement.
Yeah, I can see why you'd be keen to avoid that.
So this year, the plan is to at least have done something that could feasibly be described as something
newsworthy.
Yeah.
So if December 30th famous, comes a knocking, turn on the news channels, guys. It's going to be huge. Yeah, I agree. The year went like both very quickly and also so monotonously slowly.
Yeah.
Like each day kind of dragged because, well, I'd sort of come to terms with that in advance. For me, once we moved here, knowing how much money I hadn't got and how I didn't want to have a normal job, and in fact never want to have a normal job.
Yeah.
So I won't be pursuing that ever. Although if I end up doing that, then someone play me that bit of audio and I'll kill myself on the spot. I knew that it was going to be
principles.
I knew it was going to be something of a write-off in terms of achieving anything, because I didn't have like time or money to do anything that I'm actually interested in, but also the stuff that I had to do didn't take up enough time that I felt like it was a like real drain.
Yeah.
So it mostly just came down to like drifting between similarly dull things for a whole year. But
So
2019, new year, new us.
yeah, I think the fact that the number 2019 is so shit and unextraordinary means we've all got to do our bit. That's you included, listeners,
Yeah,
to kind of give it
especially.
some punch to make it worth remembering.
Some vim.
Yeah, because once we hit December 31st of this year, all you're going to see, the whole concept of art is going to be replaced by 2020 vision jokes.
Oh,
And so
on TikTok specifically.
yeah, so we need to really get in as much as we can before
Before the pun year.
before the great punnage. Yeah.
That's going to be a very poor time to be alive, isn't it? I can picture the scene now at the New Year's festivities. It will just be a sea of those shit glasses. Remember those glasses with slats that were popular for about 10 minutes? Is that Kanye's fault that they were popular?
I think so, yeah.
I think
that's
so.
another thing
It's
we can
another of
pin
his
on
great
it.
big sins that he's done on us. All over us, that sin.
Isn't Great Big Sins one of his albums?
I expect so. Don't keep up with him anymore. So yeah, that's kind of where a long way of saying that the show's going to a Sunday only schedule. We hope you understand the reasons, and I think you ought to see a marked improvement
Oh, I see.
overall.
I was worried where you were going when you started with "you ought to."
You ought to be very
appreciate-
grateful for what you've got, pig.
More, you fucking Oliver Twist little orphan shits. We are also this is another of the great Brexit means Brexit phrases or take back our sovereignty, control our borders.
Strong and stable.
We'll be restructuring the Patreon.
Wow,
Also-
if I had $1 for every time we've said that, we wouldn't have to do it. No, but for real.
we are.
Yeah.
And it's coming, as we mentioned, as kind of a show-wide overhaul of what we're doing in terms of content and how we're going to create content. We're thinking, guys, imagine this.
Go on.
Of planning some content at least a week in advance.
Declan said a sentence while we were discussing, as he said, for a few hours the show, where we'd both had the, let's be honest, not groundbreaking idea of what if we came up with a
revolutionary.
What if we came up with a bunch of topics in advance and then we could just pick from them, and then we've finessed that into like 4 main categories.
and then pictured the sort of
It
weird,
was like, what would it be
weird
like if,
utopia if at the
on
end of
show
one
we could
episode.
say, and next week we'll be talking about. I was like, wow, that would be mad.
God,
We'd
the
surely
listeners-
be on the BBC.
the
in a
listeners
minute.
would throw up in their mouths.
It would be
if
really
we said
powerful.
that.
So that's a plan.
So yeah, so it's going to be a broad sweeping changes, not necessarily happening instantly, all of them, but
No,
happening
but a phase, a
from
rollout.
here. Yeah, nice,
Yeah.
like it. So
We'll
we
be
will
in touch
doing-
with patrons about that as well. We probably want some specific feedback, so get ready to be generous with
Yeah,
that.
you can assume that we already know the complaint give us the things that we paid for.
Which we are doing. We're going to give you your Patreon content, Patreon content.
We've released one, recorded 2.
Yeah, and there's another on the cards in a big way. That's over at patreon.com/shamecity, where sign up for a tier today. It might be gone tomorrow. All bets are off. It just keeps things interesting.
Yeah, exactly.
Keeps it buzzing.
It keeps you on your toes.
I guess as well, like promo stuff, we can try and involve the listeners in a bit, because the show would benefit. And I think by the show, at this point, I'm referring not just to us, but to the showmunity around us on this good ship show, which is, dedicated, but not the largest. And that's fine. We're not looking to... We've already made it in the Congo, so we're not looking to ascend to any particularly heady heights.
Been seeing some troubling political news about the Congo a lot on my overnight shifts. I'm watching the BBC, so I don't know that we should.
Well, we should do a special message to our listeners in the Congo. Don't do any bad stuff.
Yeah, don't join in the bad things. Do the good things. But don't blame.
Yeah, don't be blaming us. Obviously, we're a comedy podcast.
Yeah,
like you guys have. I don't even know that we self-identified as that in the Congo on iTunes.
No,
that's just how they've come to see us. The great comedy podcast,
exactly,
at number 71. What I was saying is, I think the show would benefit all of us, the listeners included, by expanding somewhat in both scope and audience, and not because it benefits us in any particular way financially, certainly, because it doesn't. And have we mentioned before that we've never taken any money of our Patreon so far?
No.
Well, we haven't. It's just sitting there.
It literally.
Which is not to say that we're not grateful for it. It's incredible to know that it's there. And the benefit primarily, much like for me, the benefit of any like Christmas present is just looking and knowing that it exists without having to have it.
Yep.
It's there when we need to spend it on things like advertising or any miscellaneous expense.
When we inevitably don't get our deposit back for the flat.
Yeah, oh God, it's gonna cover my homelessness for a solid week and a half there on the streets of Colindale. But yeah, something about having more people to like bounce content off.
Yeah.
More voices suggesting things, informing discussions, just more involvement is what we're aiming for in 2019.
Yeah.
And that's obviously, 90% us, but there's a 10% that you can get involved with as well. And we'll be very grateful if you do.
Yeah. Not even send us content, just let us know.
Yeah.
Send us a message saying, wow, that was dull. Or more preferably, enjoyed that. More of this.
Or just, telling a friend. And I know every podcast says that, but we mean it. Like, do it this time.
And I think more than other podcasts, we are literally the sort of thing that most effectively is spread in that way.
Yeah, because we were talking before about how most shows, especially crafted podcast pieces, anything that's recommended, like, oh, what should I make my show about? It's always...
They have a pre-existing audience.
Yeah, because they're always like a very dull niche, like a specific kind of slime on YouTube community.
A sort of crime.
A slime community.
True or otherwise.
If you will. Yeah. And so it's very clear where to advertise that sort of stuff. It's very unclear when your show is as general as ours.
Yeah.
Kind of is, but also really is not, because if you gave it to 100 people, I reckon like 98 of them will tell you to fuck off. But the 2 that like it, as has been proven by our small but dedicated harem of listeners, are quite involved.
A harem-unity.
Yeah, exactly. Our harem-unity. And so, we're looking to kind of expand that in the course of the next few months as we try and reshape things from the ground up. So.
I think, controversial.
Yeah.
Only the one plug this time.
Okay, go for
which
it.
I'd say is jump on the Shame City Discord.
Why not?
Shame.city/Discord.
What is Discord, though?
It's a little chat room.
Yeah, good one.
It's like a little, it's all grey.
Oh, very nice. Well,
very nice.
Depends
grey.
what mode you've got it in.
Wow.
If you haven't got it in dark mode, you must be sick in the head, because it's brighter than the surface of the sun.
Mode?
God. It's really horrid to behold.
That actually, the thought of it sickens me.
If you've got it in light mode, then just get in touch and we'll come and change it for you.
Yeah.
Wherever you are.
because I think that we've mentioned that we want to kind of restructure everything down to the plugs that we do at the end and how we do them. So it seems foolish to fall back to old habits straight away.
Yes.
So jump on the Discord because it reaches us instantly and we can have a nice chat about all sorts of horseshit.
Yeah.
There's lovely members of the Shame City community
Very
there,
lovely.
where you can chat to them and no other detlevs getting in the way
No,
like there
it's
are
really
on
nice.
Twitter.
It's a safe space for
Exactly.
Shame citizens.
So jump on there, and if you really need other ways to get in touch, either listen to last episode and catch that, or ask us there on the Discord.
Yeah. And I guess that's it, really, isn't it? Happy 2019, everyone. I guess this is our New Year show, really.
God, it is, isn't it?
Sorry it took us 21 days or whatever it is to get it out, but better late than never. Until next Sunday, which will be maybe a kind of prototypical episode of the not new format, but new approach. I've been Isaac. You've been...
I've been Declan.
Keep it real, pals.
Look for the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities, oh Mother Nature's recipes that bring the bare necessities of life. Wherever I wander, wherever I roam, I couldn't be fonder of my big home. The bees are buzzing in the tree to make some honey just for me. The bare necessities of life will come to you. For the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities, oh Mother Nature's recipes that bring the bare necessities of life. Wherever I wander, wherever I roam, I couldn't be fonder, my new home. The bees are buzzing in the tree to make some honey just for me. The bare necessities of life will come to you. Necessities, the bare necessities, the bare necessities of life will come to you.